we're here at the Focus on Inclusion Conference, and Paula, we're really glad to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And you're providing a keynote presentation called Don't We Already Do Inclusion?
Right.
Awesome, thank you. So what do you say to schools and to staff when they say, we're already doing inclusion?
Well, first of all, I would say, I believe you. I didn't write that book or create this keynote because I think schools are ignoring kids or that they're not committed to the mission. Quite the opposite, actually. I felt that a lot of progress has been made in the last 30 years around inclusive education. And I started to look at a lot of what I would call high quality inclusive schools that are very committed to the mission, very committed to the practices, those that might be seen as sort of lighthouse districts, and those that, as a marker of being high quality inclusive schools, are always looking for new ways to create more opportunities. And I would say when schools tell me we're already doing this, I believe them. I know that they're working very hard. I know that most schools have put a lot of energy and a lot of time into trying to embrace kids and honor differences, and think about curriculum and instruction in new ways, and restructure extracurricular so that kids can be a part of it and have conversations with parents. There's no doubt about that. The title or the energy behind this question or presentation is really, are there things that we can do to just keep going on that journey? I hate to sort of borrow from Nike and not be able to come up with my own theme, my own slogan, but there is no finish line when it comes to supporting our kids. It would be like saying, I'm done with parenting. You're always working at becoming a better parent. You're always working at becoming a better teacher. Schools are always working at becoming more welcoming, supportive, and inclusive. For a couple of reasons. Number one, our student populations change. We may start out as a school that's thinking a lot about this question of inclusion because we have a lot of learners with identified needs. And then maybe our population changes and all of a sudden we have a lot of students now who are English language learners, and we haven't really thought about those students in particular. We haven't had to in the past. And so we're going to use some of those same kinds of inclusive practices and ways of being to support that population of kids. And so different, different kinds of experiences, time rolls on and new challenges come into every school. And that's part of it. The other part of it is that technology changes. Our research changes. And so while I know we're all continuing to do inclusion, we always have to be able to examine what's current. What are we doing now that, or what have we done in the past rather, that maybe needs to be updated because there's new tools available for us. And then finally, I think just the idea of constantly assessing what we're doing is not only helpful for kids in our schools, but it's helpful for us as professional development. So the more that we sort of freshen up by assessing and asking new questions, that's sort of internal staff development. As I look around and I say, boy, I'm noticing that, we need maybe more collaboration and co-teaching. It helps us to sort of turn our focus in a new way. And so, I think that's, key to it. But I think what I'm trying to say in all of this is this isn't the idea of honing our practices around inclusive schooling and assessing and reassessing and coming back to the question over and over again. I think one of the things that I think can help us feel more secure in doing that work and more excited about doing the work is just remembering this isn't just about one small population of kids, that when we ask the question, don't we already do inclusion? Yes, we're already doing it. We're trying to do a better job of sharpening our skills because what we do for some is really best for all. So really it's about staff, it's about students, it's about our community. And so that's how I think about it. So the good news is, the bad news is maybe if you can think about it, the work is never done. That might feel exhausting. I think the good news is the work is not only, I think, the piece that really helps us stay fresh when we think about responding to differences and sharpening the saw, so to speak, in the classroom. I think it at least for me, it ignites me as a teacher. I may be frustrated at first that I don't know how to use that technology, or I'm not familiar with collaborating with certain professionals, but when I have those challenges, I think inclusion's a great catalyst for us to polish practices and emerge as a better school.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your ideas and your thoughts and your energy.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.